So this is the last and final stage of finishing the shed. To open it.
Yeah. Wow.
Hey everybody, I'm Bill with Live Simple, Live Free. And it seems like I've just been working on this shed forever because I keep getting disrupted by other more important things. Well, in fact, I built this initially last November. That was 9 months ago. Crazy. So anyway, I just have a couple of things left to do and I will be finished. So let me show you what I've still got here. So the roof was leftover material from a greenhouse that was being redone, and I took it off of there and I put it on the roof, and that lets light in, and I really like that. But right now it's just kind of nailed on top, and you see the overhang there. The wind actually comes from this direction, and twice now since I built this thing, the wind caught underneath of that edge and started pulling it off. So I'm going to have to trim the edges down all the way around and put a piece of metal up there on the edge to keep the roof from being torn off in the high wind. And then you can see here, that top roof up here is not flat. There is a bit of an angle to it, and then it comes down onto the metal roof. But you can see right there, just above the metal roof, there's a little bit of exposed wood right there, and I need to put some flashing all the way along to keep that from rotting out. And then down here, I'm actually going to put a gutter, rain gutter along here. What happens is there's actually quite a bit of rain, especially in heavy rain, that collects on that roof, comes, and then it drips down. And you can see right along here where it drips, and as all that water comes down, it splashes mud up onto the lawnmower, gets it all muddy, gets it all dirty. See that? That's from the rain splashing up. So putting a gutter on there will stop the rain from getting up onto the tractor. And then in the winter I can still probably cover the tractor with a tarp or something like that. But just putting on the gutter and getting all that rain away from there is going to be a big, huge help. So I'm starting on the gutter, and it's been a long time, probably 10 years at least, since I did any gutter work, since I quit doing construction. And at the time, they were just starting to come in with vinyl gutters and downspouts, and I didn't like it at all. It just seemed really chintzy to me, really. I mean, I know it's going to hold up, but I preferred aluminum, so I always used aluminum. Well, now I went to Lowe's to get what I needed, and they still have aluminum downspouts and gutters, but they don't have all the aluminum fittings that I needed. All they had was one elbow like that. That was it. And I need to have a variety of different kinds of fittings here to make it work, to make it go around the corner and that sort of thing. And I was able to put all of this together with the vinyl when they didn't even have the fitting parts that I needed in aluminum. So I guess I'm using vinyl. It's a little bit of a different system, but it's just in the way you join them together. But I'll be fine with it. We'll see how it goes with vinyl. So I'd set up the camera out here so you can see what I'm doing, but the sun is right there, and all you would get would be sun. So hopefully I can show it from inside here with the camera. This is really awkward because I've got to hold this here, and I got to hold this out here, and then I have to measure that piece that I need to cut with the tape measure. And I only have 2 hands, and I need 3. Okay, it looks like 9 inches. I'm gonna mark where this goes here. All right. That wasn't as bad as I thought. 9 inches. This is the wrong tool. This is a coping saw. But I don't know where my hacksaw is. I think this will work. Look at that. That worked just fine and it made a nice smooth edge. Well, there's probably a better way to do that, but I got it done. Now normally with aluminum there's just a metal band like this to join these together, and I would put a row of caulk in here. It's not exactly caulk, it's gutter sealer. It's a little bit different, but I would just put it in there, put that together, and then screw it. But this actually has a sealer inside of here, and then it snaps together. So, you know, this is not something that I've ever seen before because I've never done vinyl before. But we'll see how this works. Okay, so I had this outside part on, and then I was trying to snap it in this inside part, and I just couldn't get it in. And then I realized you do it the other way around. You put the inside part in first, and that way you can spread this and the inside part goes in easily. And then you've got this and that. Hook that on there, bring that around, and it snaps right on. Very easy. You just have to figure out the right way to approach it. And now I've got the those black seals, waterproof seals, inside there on both sides, and it's pressed in, and I don't even have to use any sealer, I hope. Now these are the hangers, and I tried to snap them in here, and once again they don't go. They've got this hook and that hook you got to get inside here, and then I realized it goes very easily if you slide it in from the end. Just like that. Now it's hooked in. I can just put my screw right there and it'll hold the whole thing up on the wall. So I'm going to have to put them all in from the end, slide them out and space them before I put the end cap on. I really had to lay it on the ground so it has more support, being so long. I don't want that joint down there to bend. And then the end cap. Now once again it has this seal out here to keep the water from coming out. And you just place it in there like that. Now that's pressed on the end and the seal strip is inside there, but I don't really see any way that it snaps on, that it locks in. So I'm going to use this little screw and screw it in there to make sure it doesn't come off. Then I'll do one here, probably one on the bottom. That's good and solid now. Now I have to put in the drop for the downspout on this side. And if you remember on the other joint, it had that rubber gasket thing in there that goes in there, but this one doesn't have anything like that. So I need to use gutter seal. And I stepped on this in the truck and it split out the back. It's all gooshing out all over the place. I hope I can still get it to come out the front. Nope, look at that. Okay, what a mess. It's about twice as much as I need. Oh man. Okay, well, there's certainly going to be plenty gutter seal in there. Ugh. Snap that in there and then screw it into place. The little white screws. Yeah, it's all gooshing out here. I gotta go get a rag. Fortunately, this is clear, so it won't be seen. So I got my best helper in town here to help me lift this up. Not that it's heavy, but it's long. And it's hard to get it in balance. Go all the way to the end, dear one.
Okay.
Come, move up to the joint. This way, to the joint and support it. There you go.
Okay. I'm going to pull this tag off.
Come this way.
Okay.
You're just going to lift it up to there.
Oh, okay. Sure. Where you want it.
Can you support it at the joint, please?
Oh.
Screws ready ahead of time. I'm sorry.
Is that clean cotton right there? Oh, it's a leaf or a piece of grass or something. Oh, sorry, I'll turn that off. Oh, it's grass. Am I holding it where you want it? Yeah. Do you need a level? Does it have to be draping downhill a little bit?
Yep.
Okay. this one? Okay.
And how about a round of applause for my lovely assistant? Thank you, dear one.
Okay. So is that all set for
Yes,
you?
ma'am.
All right. How are you, sweetie?
Good. How are you feeling?
Okay. I'm getting better. This is my, I had to have pop out for a bunch of
Okay, so obviously you got to have the gutter
when I first
pointing
got-
downhill toward where the downspout is,
When I started to feel
but the roof is level. So as long as I make sure it's tight up here
I was very good.
and it's down a little bit lower at the other end, then I know I've got the proper slope on it.
Is that better?
So there's the hanger, and you can see this is down about maybe almost 3/4 of an inch right here, and up at the other end it's up tight against this P-strip. So that tells me that it's sloped down in the right direction toward the downspout. Now the way this works is there's a little hole right there. Just put the screw in, and then you screw the screw in with the drill bit, which I can't do because I don't have 3 hands. So I'm going to put the camera down, and then I'm going to screw all of these up. So I still need to put this end piece on right here, but I decided to do it after it was up in place, because when it was down on the ground I had trouble getting this straight. See that? And I figured up here I can make sure it's straight and then put another screw in to hold it, and then get this last piece straight. Okay, so now I need to start on this section right here. That's bare wood, and I need to cover it with flashing or vinyl or something. I have several options here. I could have bought a roll of aluminum stock that's white on one side so it would match the rest of the fascia. But then I would have had to rent an aluminum brake. It's a big machine that you use to bend aluminum, put a nice smooth edge on it. But instead of doing that, I basically just decided to use these. This is just a piece of pre-bent, pre-cut flashing that you can buy at any, Lowe's or Home Depot or something like that. You just put one in, you put another in on top of it like that with an overlap, and that'll work just fine. It'll be much easier. I'll just go up and put them in across. This is usually used like for around a chimney or stuff like that on a shingle roof, but I'm going to use it up here and it'll work fine. I am going to use a P-strip right across underneath of where the roof hangs over, so that I have something to slide this up into that'll hold the top edge. Okay, so I got that flashing done up there, and I'll tell you what, man, it was a lot more difficult and a lot more strenuous and time consuming than I thought it was, so I didn't film the whole thing. But basically I'm kneeling up on that roof, which isn't quite flat, it slopes away from me, and then I had to completely bend over and look underneath where I was nailing it, over, you know, hanging over. I couldn't really go out on that metal roof, and my old bones just don't bend that way anymore, man. So anyway, it's done. I'm glad to have it done. So not only does this overhang on the roof look bad, all being different like that, but it's also a wind hazard. The wind comes in this way, gets here and lifts it up and rips the roof off. And you can see that it's just screwed on with these little screws with a washer, and it's actually ripping the roof right off. So what I'm going to do is cut it right along here, and then I have a piece of metal angle that I'm going to put over top of it to hold the front edge of the roof down so the wind won't rip it off anymore, and it'll look a lot better. This is the roofing material. You can see it's corrugated, and it's really tough. I cut it with a utility knife, but it was really tough to get through. All right, so here's what I'm going to do up here. Right now, this is just screwed in or nailed in with these. I'm going to take the screws out, and then this is a piece of drip edge. Now, normally this goes underneath of shingles. You put this at the edge of the roof, you run the shingles on top of it, and then it goes up against the fascia. So this is hidden underneath of the shingles. But I'm going to put it on top here, like that. After I take all the nails and screws out, then I'll screw it down on top here, and that'll hold this, keep this from being torn up by the wind, and it'll look nicer on the front too. So that should hold the front down to keep it from having wind damage. At least that's the plan. Now that'll keep the wind from getting underneath and lifting it up, and the rain that gets on here will run off because this is sloped a little bit. And I got the gaskets, rubber gaskets underneath it here. I think this will work pretty well. One of the cool things about living on this property is that we have a lot of wildlife around here. I think we got something right around the corner here. Let me see. Look at that. There they are. Isn't that cool? Right there in our front yard. Amazing. These aren't ours. These belong to a neighbor, but they wander. Now, several people in past videos have suggested that I put a water catchment system right here, and in fact I may possibly do that, but it wouldn't be until next spring probably. Somebody just recently gave me this barrel, and if I get another barrel or two like that, and I elevate the barrel a little bit right here, then it would all be gravity to be able to water the gardens down there. And then if we should ever lose power and we can't get water from the well, then we could also use this for drinking water and run it through our Berkey filter in the kitchen. So that's a good project that I'm thinking about. But like I said, that wouldn't happen until probably next spring at this point. Well, I am finally, honestly, truly done with the shed, and I'm so happy. I'm so glad. I really like the way it came out. So I hope you've enjoyed this process. If you haven't seen all of it, there's a playlist of the entire shed build. Check it out. I'll put it in the end screen so you can see the whole thing. And thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time. Live simple, live free. Be blessed.